They say betrayal cuts the deepest when it comes from the one who said, "I'll never hurt you." My name's James. I'm 32. I was married for nearly a decade. We have 2 kids, 8 and 6. I thought I had a partner for life. I thought we were building something beautiful, just going through a rough patch like all couples do. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepares you for the day your wife looks you in the eye and tells you she wants to separate. And even then, that wasn't the real truth. The real truth was that my wife was in love with someone else, someone she met in a video game. This is my story. It started with late night gaming. Innocent enough, right? She had played World of Warcraft in college, and I didn't think anything of it when she picked it up again. We were both stressed, working, studying, raising our kids, trying to make ends meet. I thought she needed an outlet. We both did. At first, I was glad she had something that made her happy. I remember her laughing at the screen again, smiling more. That part was refreshing. But then, she began staying up later and later. I'd go to bed alone, wake up alone. Sometimes she'd crawl in beside me around 3 a.m., eyes glazed, exhausted but still buzzing. She wasn't present anymore. Not at dinner, not during family movie nights, not even in bed. We'd gone through hard times before, but this was different. She stopped talking to me. She stopped confiding in me. It was like she was giving all of her emotional energy to someone else. And I didn't know who. What started as an innocent pastime became a wedge between us. She'd come home from work, barely say hello, and disappear into her virtual world. I'd make dinner, bathe the kids, and wait. I was no longer a husband in her eyes, just a co-parent, a roommate, a shadow of the man she used to love. The day she said she wanted to separate, I swear the world fell out from under me. I was folding laundry. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, quiet. Her voice was low, almost trembling, but her words were decisive. "I think I need some space. I don't know who I am anymore." Space. What did that even mean? We had 2 kids, a house, a life. I asked her, "Are you seeing someone else?" She said no, just unhappy, overwhelmed, lost. I believed her. That night, I cried alone in the garage. I felt something break inside me. A panic I hadn't felt since my early 20s, back when I was struggling with addiction, joblessness, and suicidal ideation. But this was worse, because this was her, the woman who stood by me during my darkest hours, who held me through detox, who sat in the courtroom when I faced charges from my past, who kissed my forehead and whispered, "I believe in you." Now she was leaving. I spent the night replaying every argument we'd ever had. Was it the stress? The finances? The kids? Was I too distant? Not enough? I searched myself for blame, but no answer felt satisfying. Only one emotion remained: devastation. 2 days after she asked for separation, I noticed she was oddly secretive with her phone. Not that we had ever spied on each other, but something felt off. She was giddy, distracted, glued to her screen. Then one night, curiosity and desperation got the better of me. I looked in her journal while she was out. My hands shook as I turned the pages. And what I read shattered me. She wrote about him, the man from the game. How she felt like he truly saw her. How she was reliving her youth. How they stayed up late whispering about life, about dreams, about love. "I never felt this way with James," she wrote. "He makes me feel alive. I want to start over. I think I love him." I felt like I had been erased. Our life together, a decade of growth, pain, recovery, joy, parenting, sacrifices, reduced to a footnote. Rewritten by the delusion of digital infatuation. I confronted her. She didn't deny it. "It was emotional," she said. "It's not physical." Yet, that night, I slept in our youngest daughter's room. Not because I had to, but because I couldn't share a bed with a stranger anymore. I finally understood why she wasn't fighting for us. She had already started a new life. She signed a lease. I helped her move. She had me bring boxes in from the garage. I carried them, numb, wondering what the hell I was doing. She had her lists, her plan, her excitement. She was leaving me, for a stranger, for someone who had never bathed our kids, who had never held her while she sobbed over a miscarriage, who had never sat in an waiting room while our son fought RSV. I came home after work the day she moved out and the house was half empty. Gone were the pictures, the sentimental keepsakes, half the furniture. She didn't just leave, she hollowed the place out. And still, I told the kids, it's going to be okay. Mommy and Daddy still love you. But inside, I was dying. I walked through the house like a ghost. Her scent still lingered on the pillows. Our wedding album sat untouched in the hallway. The silence was unbearable. For days, I barely ate. I barely spoke. I went through the motions for the kids, but emotionally, I was in pieces. That night, I poured a drink. Then I stopped myself. I'd come too far to let this take me back to the man I used to be. The man who hid from pain at the bottom of a bottle. The man who ran from himself. No more. Instead, I called a friend. Then another. Then I joined a support group. I started working out. I meal prepped. I journaled. I prayed. I remembered who I was. I also remembered I wasn't alone. Men came out of the woodwork. Some had been betrayed, some divorced, some still grieving. And all of them reminded me that this pain, while brutal, was survivable. And not just survivable, transformative. I made new routines. Mornings with my kids became sacred. I learned how to braid my daughter's hair. I started reading bedtime stories again with voices, accents, laughter. Healing came in fragments. A walk in the park. A smile from a stranger. A random old song that didn't make me cry this time. Every day wasn't perfect, but every day, I was choosing life. She stopped wearing her wedding ring. I hadn't noticed until it glinted on the counter one day. A small circle of metal. Abandoned. She texted me 3 pages that Sunday. Said she was sorry. Said she knew she was stringing me along. Said she needed to move on. It hurt. God, it hurt. But it also gave me clarity. This wasn't a phase. This was a choice. She chose to lie, to cheat, to prioritize a fantasy over reality, to leave her family for a man who lived behind a screen. And now I had to choose. So I chose to let go. I stopped checking her social media. I stopped asking mutual friends about her. I stopped looking for signs she missed me. Instead, I poured myself into becoming a better man, a better father, a whole person, not for her, not for revenge, but for me. This pain pulled the rug from under me, but it also opened doors I didn't know I needed to walk through. I started therapy again, not couples therapy. Me, for my wounds, my childhood abandonment issues, my codependency, my need to fix, to prove my worth. I discovered attachment theory. I devoured books on emotional trauma. I rewatched our entire relationship through a new lens. I began healing not just from this betrayal, but from everything I'd carried silently since I was a child. And slowly, I started becoming someone I was proud of again. I forgave her, not to absolve her, not to invite her back, but to release myself. I realized forgiveness is not reconciliation. It's freedom. And I finally gave myself that gift. If this is your story too, maybe not the exact same, but close enough to hit you in the gut, I want to tell you something. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not weak because this destroyed you. You are human. And heartbreak is a hell of a teacher. But you will rise. You will rebuild. You will rediscover parts of yourself that you forgot were even there. And one day, I promise you, this won't hurt like it does now. One day, your kids will look at you and see strength. One day, you'll look in the mirror and see a man who survived. So keep going. Stay grounded. Heal loud. Love hard. And when you're ready, open your heart again. Not because she was worth it, but because you are. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit like, subscribe, and share. Someone out there needs to hear this. Someone out there is holding it together for their kids, wondering if they'll ever feel whole again. They will. You will. Until next time, stay strong. Do me a favor if you enjoyed this story. Click the like, subscribe, and notification buttons to be informed when the next story is published.